Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Awesome. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Psychic Saturday Night Live. Yes, spring edition. Spring Equinox edition. Spring has sprung. Yay, finally. Finally. For those of us here in Canada, especially, we're glad to see the snow go. We love it when it shows up sometimes. And we're so happy when it leaves because it's usually been here for quite a while and it's definitely been persistent. So, yes, so nice to see spring. It was a lovely equinox yesterday. Absolutely lovely. The energy was beautiful. Absolutely inspiring. That's what I want to say. And transformational. You know, it's full of energy, full of the energy of transformation. You can just feel it in the air. Yeah. Oh, and the signs are everywhere. Signs are everywhere. So yes, so nice to see you all. So nice to join me on this evening, Saturday Night Live. Okay, it is what? Today's the 21st of March. Forgot my number there for a minute there. 21st of March. And yeah, things are moving along pretty well here. Now, we have a lot to chat about. I'm going to try and keep it short and brief, as much as I can, short and sweet. Well, we'll see how sweet it is. Anyway, and we have a little bit of housekeeping. So we'll let the algorithm do its thing and bring people on. And hello, hello, hello to all of those joining me. I really do appreciate you all, showing up and hanging out with me and sharing light, shining light, and maybe a laugh or two, or at least some information anyway. Information equates to light in your body. When you know something, that's why they always use a little light bulb when somebody has an idea, because you light up when you are informed with something, when you are inspired with something. And so it's good to share information, especially truth. And that's what I'm all about, as you may know. I'm all about the truth and sharing it. And it's not necessarily my truth that I share. It's universal truth. It's truth that at some point you can go deep inside yourself and feel out for yourself, and most likely will come to that settled place of, yep, that resonates. So my guide is always talking about numbers, or numbers and words anyway, and he always breaks the words down into, I guess they're called anagrams or whatever it is, when you use the letters for words. And so to him, truth is the resonation under temporary human. So we're all temporary, right? We're in this human space temporarily. But the resonation that resides at the very bottom of that temporary human is truth for you. And the resonating underlying energy, right, is the resonant underlying energy is the true energy for you. That's how you know it's to be true for you. You'll feel it in your being. Feel it in your being. So here we are, March Equinox edition, a spring Equinox edition. A lot of stuff happening in the world, as we know. A lot of truth still being revealed. And so the biggest thing I really want to talk about with everybody tonight is energy. Energy. Energy is everything, and everything is energy. Bottom line. And we are energetic beings. So I talk a lot about this with people because we need to understand vibration and frequency and the differences between the two and what they all mean, and how we are the energetic experience for our souls here on this planet, and what that really truly looks like, what it means. So, with everything that's going on in, the world right now, we've got a lot of heaviness. And I'm always referring to the 0 point and, of course, to the scale of consciousness. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I'll have to look in a minute here. But you see, vibrate at the higher frequencies and the lower can't touch you. Well, you won't touch the lower is really how that works. So we have grief at the bottom with regret, fear, anxiety, desire, craving, anger, hate, pride, scorn, courage, and affirmations. This is a courage is a tipping point. It will bring you up, like gratitude will bring you up into a 0 point neutralized space, or at least a place where you can move and grow from. The rest of them you can grow and move from, but they're very intense. Like, they're very intense. Anger and hate, especially fear and anxiety, can grip. It can be crippling, absolutely crippling. And so what we see happening in the world is that blanket of low vibrational energy that has literally taken over, right? Like whether it's the files or it's the war. That's it. We have like two options right now, and nothing else seems very bright, sunny, and cheerful, aside from the fact that we have spring, that we can all basically, you know, bring that energy together and be happy and joyful and excited about what's coming. For the most part right now, people don't feel that. They feel very heavy. They feel very weighted, and they feel it feels very cumbersome, especially since we're not really seeing the results that we're looking for. The actions that need to be taken are not being taken. And so people are upset about that. And so then we turn our focus from one thing to another thing, and it doesn't get any better, because when you look over here, there's a war going on, you know, for no good reason whatsoever. That's right. I said it. No good reason whatsoever. When the counter-terrorism dude, chief, resigns, basically saying there's no reason for this to happen, we know some shit's going down. And so whatever your belief is about the war, there's good, there's bad, there's ugly, all about it, right? Like it's disguised to look as like a one thing, like it looks like one thing. And there's a lot of good coming from it. Let's face it, folks. Like, I don't know. I've been sharing some pictures. 47 years ago, that country was just like we were, and I use that term loosely too, but we were free, you know, especially women. They could wear what they wanted. They could wear the mini skirts that were very popular of the day, and go-go boots and things of that nature. They could be educated and whatnot. And then all of a sudden that changed. And so for a very long time, they were restricted. Let's face it, like there's a lot of celebration to be had here. From what I'm seeing, those people are happy. Like it's a shit show. Yeah. It's a war zone. Yeah. But what's happened because of, you know, that whole thing is the liberation of these people. And yeah, there's a lot more to it than we are all being shown. So don't watch the news and think that that's all the story, because it's not. Find yourself some alternative media and get the real scoop. And I can tell you right now that a lot of what you're seeing too will be censored anyway and will not be available, you know, for the long haul, because there's, you know, imprisonment for people who are sharing videos from there, you know, to the world and stuff like that. So it's a very heavy, you know, deal going on. But we're seeing it. We're seeing liberation all over the place. And the fact is that it comes in different shapes and sizes and everything, right? Forms and fashions. And so we have to really look for the good, because it doesn't always look that way. But there's always a blessing in some sort of lesson there. And that's you know, the whole thing is just a big old shit show. It's political. It's religious more than anything. But it's not really religious, because it's a political movement. So energy is everything, and everything is energy. I'm going to keep saying that. This is the time of transformation all around the world. While the Northern Hemisphere is experiencing spring and its wonderful blossoming and blooming effects, the Southern Hemisphere is headed into fall, and they are letting go. So we have these very transformative energies floating around the globe right now. And that's what you also can kind of count on as supportive in our processes of that very thing, transformation. I want to talk a little bit about magic as well. A lot of Christians have trouble with magic and witches. I was raised a Christian. I'm going to tell you right now, from 0 to 9 years old, I was raised, I was a little longer than that even, because I went to a Catholic school, and technically that's kind of Christian, sort of, so to speak. But it's all the same Bible they're working from, so we'll go with that. I'm very well versed on biblical stuff, and I'm very self-educated on everything else, as much as I have explored anyway. So I have not read the Bhagavad Gita. I have not, you know, explored the Torah in detail or any of these things. I know excerpts from them. I'm guided to certain, you know, information in them. And so I absorb that, whatever I'm supposed to. I've got shelves of books that I'm not allowed to look at. My guides are like, don't read that. You have it, but don't read it. It's not really for you. And I'm like, what? So I've spent like lots of money, you know, filling these shelves up with books that I have really not allowed to read a whole lot of. I'm supposed to reference from them. And so, because apparently we all know that information, we just have to validate it from the references we have on the books. So that's what I've been guided to do. Anyway, long story short, the idea though is that, I know about Christianity, and I know what the Bible says about witches, and I also know what the Bible says about magic, and I also know what the different religions think about all of those things, per se, just certain fundamentals about them. And what I've learned about the Bible is that it is a collection of books that are specifically designed for a certain story. Just like every other book that you pick up, it has a beginning, it has a plot, it has an end. It's meant to tell a story that illuminates you and tells you something and informs you of stuff, but, in a sense, through more allegory and symbolism and all of those things rather than literal meaning. What the Bible teaches about witchcraft and witches and magic in and of itself is, of course, a one-sided opinion. Like, they want you to fear it. They want you to, object to it. They want you to look away from it and to be repelled by it, because that's all the stuff they're using against you. All the evil forces of the world are using that stuff against you. They don't want you to know that, because then you might be empowered and you might actually inform yourself and learn some stuff and actually work it against them, or at least to your own defense. They don't want that. You ever noticed how in any of these, like even Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, like they teach you about how to work, in defense of the dark arts, the dark forces. Ephesians 6 says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities and the forces of darkness. It says so in the freaking Bible. So they give you the information that you need. It's a playbook as it, kind of comes out to be. All the nuggets of truth are in there for us for the most part, but they're hidden and they're convoluted and they're not told to you, in a way that teaches you how to be empowered in yourself. It still brings you back to relying on the book. Everybody relies on the book. The book says this, the book says that. I just quoted the book. That's how references are worked. But the point is that it's not the be-all, end-all. There were 771 sacred texts that were submitted as a part of the Council of Nicaea's selection for those last 66 books that get put in that Bible in particular. It's been interpreted a number of different times. There's version upon version, Gideon Bible and the King James Version and the New Testament and all of these different kinds. I know, I've seen them, I've read them, I have them, New International Version. I have a children's version of that. I still have it since I was like 6 years old. It's all interpretation, and it's based on what they wanted you to know. So my point is that don't shun the witches and those who practice the old ways, because those are the ones who are informed and are educated in what you need to know to combat the forces of darkness and the principalities that are coming after us, that are literally. And and that's the other thing. I did these little videos. I haven't put them out yet, and I guess it's because I'm probably going to touch on it and all this stuff, but they'll come out eventually. The concept of know thy enemy, which I believe is in the Bible too. I can't remember the quote, but anyway, the enemy, the word enemy. Oh, love and light. We're not supposed to use the word enemy. And we're not supposed to think of people as our enemy. You know what? I don't have any enemies. I don't hate anybody, but there are people that don't like me. And there are people that don't like other people based on whatever beliefs they have about those people. So you got to know your enemy, because you're going to get energy coming at you from them. Good, bad, and ugly. Right? So everything we have is an energetic experience. We are all energy. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. Just keep saying it. We got to vibe up. So as I was saying about the heaviness that's there, we can't get trapped underneath that blanket. You see what they're doing, right? They're creating this heavy, thick, dense, energetic blanket to subdue humanity in the fear and the worry, the grief, the anxiety of the times. I talk a lot about what's going on. I talk a lot about the evil that's in the world. I talk a lot about it, not to bring people down and not to make it heavy for folks, but to inform you, because when you know, you glow. And when you're not, full of darkness any longer, the light bulbs come on and you yourself shine. That's the point to truth tellers. That's what we do. That's why we do it. because we're here for enlightenment. You may have seen this before, but the little light bright, the littlest light bright in the world says we are all light. And we're here to light this planet up because there's so much darkness. But if you don't know where the darkness is and you don't know how to brighten yourself up in, you know, in the midst of it, yeah. Anyway, okay. So, and everything is spiritual too, by the way. Everything starts from the thought, which is energy and ether, and becomes physical matter. Everything that you see, everything you are, everything you be, everything is a thought first, a vibration of energy that creates a physical experience, including politics and the evil. The evil is just, you know what, if you look at ourselves on the scale and the spectrum, then if we are shining bright and we are our brightest, which means that we are full of light and doing what we can to be radiant, and you see evil in the world, it's a contrast to who you are and where you are with that light. But what it's showing you is a perfect polarity there, which means that if you're that bright and you're seeing that kind of darkness, it's because you're that bright that you're seeing that kind of darkness. And what happens when we stop, you know, when we enter a dark room, when we open the door and we walk into a dark room, close the door behind us and it's pitch black, but you light a lighter, a match, a flashlight, whatever, it's not black anymore. It's not dark anymore. And it's not, you're not at the mercy of it. It's not illuminated. You illuminate things. That's the whole point. The darkness dispels and eventually is transmuted. I've posted some stuff about Erica lately. Erica Kirk. You watch this one. I'm telling you right now. I know I've already got some backlash from somebody about it, but I'm going to tell you right now, that woman's not right. That woman is not working for the people you think she's. I don't know. I've been seeing stuff too, like that seems to confirm some of my own suspicions. Like I don't ever hear her talk about things the way she talks about the Bible, and she talks about, you know, certain things. She doesn't talk about Jesus, which is kind of interesting. I don't hear her talk about him too often. I don't think I've ever heard her talk about his name. I don't think I've ever heard it come out of her mouth. But I do hear her talk about the Lord and my Lord. And I did an answer to a comment about that because it's important to note, trace the words, people. Trace the words. They're using the words, you know, in disguise. They mean something, but it also means something different. And you don't think anything of it because you just slough it off. But what they mean is malevolent. It's nefarious. It's the whole thing is about this gloating crap that they like to do, and, you know, goading us on and whatnot. Anyway, keep an eye on her. It's very interesting stuff that's unfolding because, like I mentioned last week, I think it was, they appointed her to the Air Force Board of Visitors or whatever the hell it is. And that required a background check, which brought some interesting things to light for people. There's a lot of connections to that woman. I don't know. And the fact is, like, I'm going to tell you something. The way they look to be in love with each other, you know, either something's funky with him and he's not really gone, she's not a grieving widow, or she's not a grieving widow and he is gone. And that raises questions too. Yeah, okay. Next up, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm putting up with all the stuff we talk about. This war. Yeah, I'm going to say it. There's a lot of convolution with that. Once again, there's a lot of distortion. What they're saying and what they're talking about and what they're putting out there to people is not necessarily what's going on at all. And there's a lot of really interesting connections to certain people of certain power that is very suspicious, very questionable. It's not the same guy. I don't care what anybody says. I know what I saw psychically 15 years ago or whatever the hell amount of time it was. I saw that guy in person. I read people for a living. That's my gift, my job, my world, everything. And what I saw with him was not darkness. It just wasn't. I can still see it in my head. It'll be something that rocks me till the day I die. I'm telling you right now, folks, because I was not expecting it. I thought that guy was just like he is now, but he wasn't back then. And this is a different dude. Anyway, sold out, whatever the hell. I don't care what anybody says. And another thing, I'm going to talk about this quickly because it's not on my list, which I do have a little list of, but this whole pee-pee thing on Joe Rogan. Give me a break, folks. I'm so sorry to tell you. Ain't nobody on our side in those positions. We are the ones who are here to reclaim ourselves, our souls, our planet, our world. Period. I don't care how good he looks riding an economy and talking to the main folk. Give me a break. No, he's chummy with Carney. He's chummy with Carney. Why? Again, know your enemy, and why are you hanging with him? Why are you chatting it up with him? Would you stay the hell away from him? As far as I'm concerned, if I worked with somebody that I absolutely did not align with, I wouldn't have anything to do with them. I don't care whether you work in the same building as I do. Stay the hell away from you, because your energy does not match mine. Unless you're compromised, or you're compromised. I'm just saying. Look, this guy gave a speech with a really nice white and blue flag behind him, cute little hat on top, referred to himself as a goy. And I'm sorry, if you know, you know. Like the minute the guy said the word, I was like, what? He doesn't work for us, folks. I'm so sorry to tell you. I am truly sorry, because I really did. I have a PPC in my cup in my cupboard. I swear to God, I thought he was going to be the guy. I loved him at the beginning of COVID because he called Trudeau out. But he's controlled opposition. They're supposed to. I'd like to know that somebody's coming to save us. I would love that. Newsflash. You're the one. We are the ones who are here to save ourselves, this planet, and the world. Just saying. Because shit's about to go down. I tell you right now, I'd love to keep it light and bright, but gosh, this is the time we came to be these lights, these brights, and these incredibly radiant, shining beings. This is the time. Why? Because the darkness is so intense. It is truly so intense. So that brings me to this whole war thing again. There's a lot of layers there. There's an incredible amount of layers there, more than what's meeting the eye, and certainly more than you're hearing on the news. Did you catch that guy in Congress talking about how the CBC is basically paid government narrative? Calling them out right there. Yeah, like we try to tell you. Don't watch the news. For God's sakes, don't watch the news. Anyway, what's next? I want you to, be open, because everything is beautiful. I know it looks like a shit show, and it is. But even that can be beautiful. Even that can be beautiful. There is a divine hot mess underway here, and it's happening for a reason. There's transformation underway. We are blossoming, blooming, and transforming into what we're meant to. The beings we're meant to that elevate and illuminate and uplift this planet into a higher vibration. Again, it's all about the vibe, right? It's all about the energy you are and how you are vibing and what your frequency is, right? How fast you're doing it. Whether or not you're going to stay above that fear blanket, rather, and stay on top of it all. You can know all that shit and not need to be underneath it. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to us in the beginning. So a long, long time ago, and then I'll get on to everything. A long, long time. Thank you so much for listening. A long, long time ago, I can't tell you how many years, probably, I don't know, 20,000 or something like that. Just about the time they pulled the moon into place. Anyway, that's a whole other call, a whole other video. Did you know that was the case? That it wasn't always here, but that it... Anyway, a lot of information to be had out there, folks. A lot of truth to learn. A lot of truth to learn. And most of what you've been taught is not the truth. I hate to tell you that too. You're going to have to unlearn that and actually learn what's real. And discernment is the key. Absolutely. You will know it. The truth and the true energy will be the resonation underneath. You'll feel it to your core. I'm telling you right now. So a long, long time ago, there was a lens put into place. There are multiple dimensions here. And from about 11 and a half, I think, is where that actually was installed. And a bunch of nice energies came here and decided they were going to, look at that place. That looks like fun. Let's do some stuff to that. Again, another video. But nonetheless, they put this inverting lens over our dimensional spaces. And so from 11 and a half down, we have darkness. We didn't have it beyond. And we don't have it beyond the 11th and a half dimension. You don't. From the 12th up, you don't. And there are multiple dimensions. Science talks about 15, but way more than that. Way more than that. It's limitless. So we have inversion. We have polarity and we have darkness from the 11th and a half dimension down. So that means that you're going to have this beautiful diabolical dance playing out. You know, our source is here to experience. We are here as source to experience. And so while it seems like it's gone terribly awry, even if it has, which it did, it's okay, because that's what free will is all about. And that's how source gets to experience everything. Everything, even the stuff that wasn't in the plan originally, when things go south, as it were, with it, when it comes to beings and galactic influences and stargates and plasma stuff and all that stuff, which is way beyond most people's, most people are just here trying to get by, trying to get through days and be good people. So that brings me again to the inversion. And once we've had evil on the planet and darkness on the planet, it grew. It was not created. It was a cast off. And so from that it grew. And the more it was fed, the bigger it got. And so we have what we have today. Everything is allegory, so it's all symbolism. And we can look at it with literal eyes and see it that way physically throughout the different dimensions, or we can see the different layers and levels to it that are multifaceted. Like there's just so much to it. Some of it is about, where we are in the Stargate systems. Most people have no clue about that. That's Keylontic science. Like that's all, again, Stargates and Cathara grids and plasmatics and all of that stuff. A lot of people aren't there just yet. That's when you really start to explore. But before that, you have planet Earth and the wonderful experiences we have here and the Hermetic principles and all of those things that go along, and knowing yourself in a way that you didn't know before and all of that stuff. So we have a lot of duality going on and polarity happening. And that's the beauty of it all. The idea is to stay in the positive, because there is so much darkness right now that we have to shift it. We just have to. And the more of us are capable of lighting up, those who are in the darkness are already full bore in the darkness. You see what I'm saying? So again, this war thing, first of all, Iran and Iraq are two of the most important places on the planet. I'm just going to tell you that, in our world. They hold stargates and portals that are extremely powerful in what they can do and what we can do with them. So CERN is a big old deal that really is just creating stargates and portals in and of itself so that we can shift into different dimensions. And believe me, they do. Every time they start that sucker up, shit's coming in and shit's going out, and it's brutal. And that's kind of why they have the whole Shiva thing outside there. Is it Krishna or Shiva? Yeah, the destroyer, outside the big statue of him outside their front doors, because that's kind of what they're doing. They're making big universes and new universes and stuff like that. Anyway, I digress. I just needed to get all of this out to everybody, so I appreciate your patience, because I know it's been half an hour already. But those two places, Iran and Iraq, and everywhere in the Middle East, Israel especially, Israel, Isis, Ra, and the Elohim, this is not by mistake. This is biblical. All of this is biblical. It's written in the Bible about, Iran and the sands of Iran and all of these things. And Babylon, right? Iraq is Babylon. Persia is all of that stuff. Like, this is biblical. This is the revelations really coming to fruition, which is fascinating. So go read it. It's a hell of a story. What a trip that guy had. Wow. Anywho, again, down to the point here. There are two kinds of Jewish people. Those in true form, genetics and religion, and those in name only. And that's a big deal, because that's what you're talking about with this war. And it's so convoluted, nobody's paying attention to that part. That really, they just got you fighting about everybody. Everybody. It's so distorted and so distracting. And yet, when you really understand about what's going on there, it's all political. It has nothing to do with religion. Nothing. The Zionist movement has nothing to do with religion. And that's why you have so many that are like that. That's why you have so many Freemasons too, that are Zionists and that are, I mean, you don't have to be a specific religion. That's not a religion. That's a movement. That's an organization. That's not a religion. That's a club. Plain and simple. They're all clubs. And we're not in them, just like Carlin said. So yeah, Albert Pike's Letter to Mazzini. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. They talk about the the First, Second, and Third World Wars. The first one, of course, is all about communism. The second one, and the Tsars of Russia, by the way. And if you think back to when that happened and what went down, this was written in 1871. You can't make shit like that up. I don't care. And if you did, and then it played out, well, then that's what happened there. But Second World War was all about fascists and Zionists. Nazism being destroyed. Go figure. And then the Third World War is all about the Illuminati pitting the Zionists against the Islamic world. Notice anything? Political Zionism is the State of Israel. The State of Israel was created 1947-48 with the Balfour Declaration, and the Rothschilds being given a nice little piece of land that they can call their home. Why? Because if you look up the Khazarians, that's who you're dealing with. They're not really Jewish. Just Jewish. Yeah, that's right. Anyhow, tonight we're doing Gateways of Light. Speaking of Stargates, because that's what they're all about, and portals, and Messenger Oracle. Why? Because there are so many messengers out right now. Spring has sprung. The grass is riz. I wonder where the birdies is. You know what? Oh, the birdies are all in my yard. I'm loving them. I heard a cardinal this morning. You ever heard cardinals sing? They sound like little pew-pew guns. It's really cute. Like little laser guns. It's awesome. Sandhill cranes over my house in pairs. I've never seen, and single. I've never seen them like that. I only see the flock. Certainly not at this time of year, so something's up. I know that Nebraska's on fire, so that might have something to do with it, because there's a place called Sandhills there. And although they're not actually from there, that's a stopping point for them. So go figure. Everything's being disrupted, folks. And yeah, spring cleaning. We got specials on because it's spring cleaning. We're going to put the clearing back on because a lot of people took advantage of that last offer. And I want to offer it again for those who did not and were, kind of hesitant about it, wondering about it. Please take me up on this offer. $100 off this absolute clearing. And I want to tell you, I have two kinds of clearing too, by the way. I have clearing that clears the body and all kinds of weird, disgusting, extraterrestrial stuff and galactic shit. But I also have one that clears the physical body of the energies that people unfortunately were injected with over the last few years. So if that's been your case and you're having troubles or you're not feeling well since then, please give me a call and use this offer for your advantage there, because we can clear that crap out of your body energetically, and of course physically it goes too. Eventually it will take off. You've just got to keep up with the protocol and the detoxing. But other than that, so the clearing is on sale again for $100 off, folks, at $150. That's your best deal. I'm telling you, and everybody loves it. I'm telling you right now, you feel so much lighter at the end of the day. I've done like 8 of them this week alone. Kooky, like absolutely. People need it, and it's so heavy out there. Again, we got to rise above this heaviness. So if you've been bogged down with all that stuff, use this to your advantage and help you clear it. And I'm going to throw readings back on again because it's spring and I just love spring. So we're going to take $20 off that again, just because I just love spring. This is my time right here. I'm not well insulated for winter. I watch it from the inside, but I do love spring, summer, and fall. Okay. Tarot, brick, gateway of light, seeds or messenger oracle rather, and let's see where we're at. Thank you so much for paying attention, for sticking with me. I know some of you don't make it to the end, but it's all good. And I love those that do, because I really appreciate that too. Look at that, the Empress. This is like, I don't know how many times I've seen her today, and I just saw her again as I was getting ready to shuffle with the Three of Cups. Here we go. All about celebration and engagement, like stuff for us to get excited about, get happy about, get joyful about. The snow is going, spring is here, and yes, we are moving towards the solstice and clearing out this energy of winter. This is really the new year. With the lunar calendar, March is the first year of the month. So The Empress comes in with that spring card because that's exactly what she represents. She's also the pregnancy card for those who are hoping for that. And she is the giving birth to a brand new life and experience for yourself. Strength card comes in with holding your own, folks, because God help us, there is an awful lot to get all riled up about out there, and we just got to really hold our own. We just really got to just be in the space of, we got this, we got this. There's that Empress again, and the Four of Cups coming in to talk about reevaluation. So a lot of things are, being reconsidered at this point, especially with spring cleaning, rather. You're going to be tossing some stuff to the curb. You're going to be hopefully donating some to others who are less fortunate than you. But either way, you're clearing out your old stuff in favor of making space for the new to flow through. So here we are, pulling 3 cards: mind, body, and spirit. Mind, top one, Merlin says, and spirit. Okay. Let's have a boo, shall we? Here's a mental card for you right there. All about where we are, folks. Excited about the triumph. We made it through winter. We made it through the hard time. We made it through the dark time. We made it through all that heaviness. And, as much as this war is a distraction from the files, and from what I saw this post that said that there's like a 93% drop in exploring the files in favor of watching the war. I mean, good God, really? Excuse me, really? Like, that's just too much. So while I'm grateful that everybody is not necessarily looking at the files as much as they were, now you're concentrating on the war, and that's not any better. But here we are. We can triumph over all of that crap. We can absolutely overcome it because we are strong in our minds. We have been working on this for a year now, folks. Remember that. And every week we do this throughout this last year. We've been acknowledging where we are in the mind space and recognizing our triumphs and our pitfalls. And that's okay. You have to acknowledge that. We are energetic beings. We're going to do the fluctuation thing. Look at this. Another ace. Ace of Cups. In the body space. Oh my God. It's all about loving yourself up. Absolutely loving yourself up. Giving yourself time to be pampered, getting out there and getting a pedicure, because the time is where we can put our sandals back on and stuff like that. It's really all about recognizing the love we need to feel for ourselves, because in this world that feels very devoid of love and light, that's why we're here. Again, it's not just about the light. Light is love and love is light. All of it is relative. Every bit of it matters. And we got to bring all of it in. Love, light, compassion, fairness, joy, happiness, brilliance. All of those things are so important. And as we radiate those energies out to the world, collectively, we rise above that blanket. And that's the most important part. Spirit. They always know what to do and what to say. This card. Remember, I've always talked to you about spirit being represented by the horse for me. It's that, that wonderful, strong, powerful, bigger than us force that can carry us to where we need to go. As long as you trust it and you can, be willing to climb on board. And that's it. So spirit comes in the pentacle space to let you know in a physical world way, in a regular place and space, they're with us. That you can count on them, that they're here for us. They're reliable and dependable and right there carrying us through this incredible journey. The fire horse energy is so strong this year. Like, it's just amazing. It's not your average horse year. It really isn't. This is a year that is literally burning it up. Everything, everywhere. So super awesome, right? Super awesome. 2 aces in a row. Come on, folks. 2 aces in a row. All right. Let's see what the brick has to say. And then we'll get this all wrapped up because I have talked a long time tonight. And I really do appreciate y'all listening. But please, research stuff. Research it. The more you know, the more you glow. You don't have to be upset by it. You can be upset first and then recognize, that that's not going to serve. That's just contributing. Overcome. Do what we came to do. And that is you're not going to feel good about it, but you're going to be able to feel good knowing about it. That's the key. That's how masters become the master. Here we go with the brick. See that? No, I know you probably couldn't. Welcoming happiness. Welcoming happiness. I love that. Look at the bridge. You see the bridge? It's just amazing. Divine love is manifesting in me, through me, and around me. It attracts all that I need for the benefit of my soul. As I work to increase my inner light, I evolve into an emanation of love and joy. Today, I reap and welcome the happiness and beauty of all that I have sown. See, and when we do that and we reap those rewards, we shine even brighter, dispelling the darkness even faster and more thorough. You gotta love this stuff, folks. I don't know who doesn't. I call forth from within the light of Source. Thank you for standing at the forefront of my heart and mind. Thank you for activating my ancient wisdom of my soul. I welcome in the support of heaven, earth, the stars, light beings, and beyond, so it is. And the t-shirt says, folks, I don't know, something to do with transformation and shining like the stars in the universe. Something like that. Anyway, oh, I know. Everything I say, everything I have says something. Almost every shirt I have. Almost every top I have. I'm all about the words. I'm all about the message. I'm all about the getting it out there. Gateway of light activation cards. Which one, Merlin? This one. Ooh. Memories of Atlantis. Spiritual acceleration, progress, technology. You know, it was just after Atlantis. Well, it's actually because of Atlantis that all this stuff is happening today. This is the redemption, as it were. This is the cleanup from all of that too. It's been kind of a, yeah. So, memories of Atlantis. Legend has it that Atlantis was an advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago in the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Some say by Bimini. Its people were highly evolved and had many spiritual gifts. They were telepathic, extremely psychic, and known for their ability to combine the laws of science and spirituality to develop technology and create heaven on earth. But somewhere along the way, many of them stopped respecting their gifts and spiritual connection. Their disrespect for the earth and ocean caused a great cataclysm that brought their civilization to an end. It imploded big time, right in there. Served us right, I'm telling you. I was there, I remember. The Atlanteans, who had continued to live with the spiritual integrity, had an awareness of what was to come and were able to achieve full ascension and move beyond the physical realm to that of light. I wasn't one of them. They are now a congregation of evolved souls who, like angels and masters, work with those upon planet Earth who are following the ascension path in alignment with devotion and love. They're helping me because I was one of the ones who didn't do a nice job. I know, I was devastated when I learned it, but it's part of why I do the job I do today, because I'm here to fix what I... Anyway, if this card comes up, we weren't always brilliant, you know. We weren't always good people. You haven't been here thousands of times to do the same damn story over and over again. That's pretty boring. To always be a good person, to always do the same things, to always do the right thing. Please, that's not what experiencing the end evolution for the soul is all about. Excuse me. If this card comes up for you and has a strong energy or seems familiar, it's a good chance that you are a former Atlantean who didn't honor your spiritual connection then and are being given an opportunity to avoid making the same mistakes now. You see, I tell you. Visualize yourself cloaked in a blue, deep blue energy, the Atlantean blue color, the ocean blue. Atlantean Council of Light, thank you for supporting the evolution of my soul so that I can surmount the karmic imbalances of my previous incarnations. I'm telling you, when that whole thing came out 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they were making everybody do that nasty thing to themselves, I cried and I cried. And I didn't just cry for what I saw. I cried for the flashbacks I kept having of how I betrayed humanity in the Atlantean experience. And I had, in this day, to help people who were being betrayed, to help those who were part of humanity that were being betrayed by people they trusted, just like I did back then. So it was devastating to me when I learned, but I was like, oh my God. So that's why I do the work I do. So much so and more so now than ever before, because I know, no, I'm not trying. I don't care. I've already cleared that karma. It's about helping people. It's about really doing the right thing, doing the light thing. Messenger Oracle. So Kyle Gray did the activations of light. This is Raven Phelan. I love this woman's artwork. Oh my God, I love this stuff. I have journals by her. I love Raven stuff. So if you ever get a chance, Raven, R-A-V-Y-N-N-E, Phelan, F-P-H-E-L-A-N, excuse me. All right, I'm going to shuffle one more time, pull the card, and then we're getting on with it. Okay. Did I ever tell you guys I love you so much for joining me and being with me as I yak with you all on Saturday nights? Psychic Saturday Night Live. I've seen so many signs. I saw a red tail today and 2 swans flew overhead. And actually, when we were at my father-in-law's house, I could hear the cranes in the distance. I could hear the coyotes in the valley. And I'm like, what is going on? Everything is alive and well because it is spring. Number 34, reveal your truth. No kidding. Look at that card. That is so cool. Look at the artwork. So cool. All right, reveal your truth. Where are we? 34, right? Right here. Okay. When you were born, your soul shone bright. As you grew, you were taught of right and wrong. You were taught how to think, how to live, how to believe in a way that makes you fearful to say no. To disagree is to risk alienation from family and society, and so you hide your true feelings and thoughts behind a mask. That mask hides your light. Cast it aside. Embrace and live your truth, and let your soul shine once more. Oh my God. Can't make this shit up, folks. So there you have it. Ace of Swords in the mental space, the mental card of triumph, overcoming darkness, harsh thoughts, heavy energy. You did it. This is how we do it every time. So whatever you're faced with, use this to light yourself up and overcome that darkness. Love yourself for the journey you're on, for the world that we're in, for the mess that it is, the shit show we're in the middle of. Love every bit of it because it's love that's going to save us all. Love and light is going to save us all, which is why, by the way, they created the whole love and light movement in the 90s. So everybody's just focused on the love, focused on the light, stare at a light bulb for any more than 2 seconds and see what happens. Do you see anything else around you? No, you don't. You are blinded by the light. Not in a good way. See what they did? And that also brings about the whole inversion thing and the soul trap and the false light they created so that because we are light beings and we know to go to it, they got us that way. And the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, the Ace of Cups in the body place, right? Love, love, love yourself. Love yourself, love everybody. Have compassion for everybody right now. There's a lot of stuff going down. The Knight of Pentacles, rely on spirit. Call on spirit. Ask them. Interact with them. Get them to help you with stuff. Ask for the parking space closest to the door. Ask to have a sign every single day. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm telling you, you'll find a dime, a feather, a seal, a swan, an eagle, whatever. Trust those. Those are not random. What are the odds of seeing something like that? I mean, you've got seconds, literally seconds before it's gone. And your interception of it was a done deal. When you see stuff, it's not always just a bird in a tree or just a bird flying by. When you see a flock of geese and another flock, okay, so you see geese. They're geese, I get it. When you see single random events, that's totally spirit. I'm telling you right now, it's totally spirit. Welcome the happiness, because that's what we're here to create, is a world of happiness, shining our light, attracting the stuff to us that we need for our soul, counting on that, because spirit never lets us down, ever, right? We just have to keep our faith, hold the vision, and trust the process. Memories of Atlantis. Oh, look into Atlantis. It was a beautiful time. It was, and many of us lived there hundreds of lives. Like hundreds of, I think the place lasted for like 10, 12,000, 23,000 years, excuse me. It wasn't just a flash. It wasn't just an event that happened like that and gone. No, we were very advanced. We didn't have any of the stuff we have now. Like, look at cobblestone streets and horse and buggy crap, please. If you knew what was going on in Atlantis, you'd be like, how did we end up back there? Well, that was intentional, just so you know, so that you had no memory of what you're capable of. Reveal your truth. Be who you truly are here to be. The soul that you were born to be. The light being that you're here to shine as. That is what we're here for. And the light in me sees in you where the light dwells. And when you're in that place in you and I'm in that place in me, together we are Namaste. We are that beautiful, brilliant light. So once again, thank you so much for joining me on this Psychic Saturday Night Live. Thank you for listening to all of it. Research. Don't just listen to what the boob tube tells you. There's a reason they call it that. You know, there's a patent on that thing for mind programming. Please think of the words. All of the words matter. Oh, and please do yourself a favor. If you're watching the stuff that's going on in the Middle East, at least educate yourself. Look up the Khazarians. Look up the differences in the Israel experience, the differences between the Jewish people, because there are significant differences. And that Netanyahu guy, love and light. See you next time. Bye now.